Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Inept General, and welcome to my Battle of the Fallen Gates. This is the footage I managed to capture when I went to see Creative Assembly at their studios. Had a great time playing the game. But what we're going to have in this video is I put together a cut, kind of cinematic cut if you will, of just some close-ups from my two playthroughs, mixed in with some of the B-roll we've been provided with by Creative Assembly, and some stuff we may have seen in their reveal, and just kind of to give you a narrative through the battle and to make it a bit more cinematic, to get you that little bit more up close with the units during this first battle. And then once that's over, I'll go through my two actual playthroughs. The first one I lost, and the second one I won with a close victory, one of only two people on the day to get that high level. Well, not high level, but everyone else got a Pyrrhic victory that day. So I was quite lucky that one. So I'll go through both those battles with a bit of commentary. As well as this video, guys, today I also went live with my unit stats comparison video, where I take all of these units and compare them to some of the units from the last game, from Total War Warhammer 1, and how they compare against each other in this battle, High Elves versus the Lizard Men. I have a look at every single unit here, as well as Mazdamundi, because we got his stats a couple of days ago, so I thought I'd throw him in as well, just so we can have a bit of a discussion. But if you want to find that in-depth discussion on the units, do click the right-hand corner now, or check the description below for my stat comparison video. But for now, enjoy the edited together version of the battle that's kind of a hodgepodge of a little bit of everything, but hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Reinforcements come. Look to the jungle for missile or magical support. Control of the bridge. The fallen gates lie beyond. The rest of your army has arrived. Combine your forces and advance on the fallen gates. A mighty sun dragon has emerged from the fallen gate. Use missile or magical units to bring it down. Elven bolt throwers have a perfect position to fire on the bridge. Take them out. The Lord of the Solar City sends more reinforcements. The Elven mages have left the fallen gate and are vulnerable to attack. The first mage has fallen. Trespassers have been vanquished. If they wish to take our world, we must destroy theirs.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was the cinematic view, as I'm calling it, the sort of edited together version. Now let's just go through the first battle I had. This is my first attempt, and I did lose this one, but let's go through it and talk you through what's going on a little bit. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Now, you'll see this little setup here in front of us with the two spears, the sword masters of Hoeth across from us on the right-hand side, or Hoeth. And yeah, I'm just trying to angle my big boys so they're charging the sword masters rather than the spears that are across the battlefield. Let's get in a bit close with this feral stegodon. There's a little broken horn there. Quite vicious looking chap. Adorable little run on him though. Some Sauros with spears. Looking very menacing. I've said it before, but I was actually surprised how hunched over they are, but I think it looks good. The more I see it, the more used to I am, the more I think it actually looks pretty good. And there goes the feral Bastillodon, trudging up. And we can see the eagle bolt throwers coming in just from the hill behind us there into my Saurus with spears. And there goes the Bastildon. Kroq-Gar, little jump in there into the fight. Swordmaster's trying to react, slashing at him. Here come the spears. Now this is the Rod of Storms, guys. Now the Rod of Storms is not what I thought it was, which was the Hand of the Gods, which is his magical item. It must just be a separate item or skill he picked up along the way that allows him to do it, but it's not one of his quest items that we're expecting in the main campaign. So that will still probably be an item that gives him Shem's Burning Gaze as a non-magical ability. So we can look forward to that with Kroq-Gar. But that was Rod of Storms there. Looks a bit like Kolek's ability. Just jumping around, having a great time with the Swordmasters. Now, I made a bit of a mistake here. Stegodon going after archers is fine. As you guys can see, I summoned some feral cold ones up there in the top right-hand corner. We've got another two of those opportunities to use that. But you'll see my Bastildon there trudging away. He's not going to catch those archers. They can do that all day. So I just gave up, changed his direction. Now one of my spears has gone feral. You can see that by the little red cloud around them. And here come my solar engines. And the Bastildon managed to trap one of the units of archers, it looks like, but they're running through him, kind of. But the Stegodon's already done great work, gone through one of them, chased off the other, and then this first little group of them shattered. Now at this point, I think I'm still under control. We've got some reinforcements in, they're moving up, the Skinks and the solar engines. Trying to take out their Eagle Bolt Thrower, but it's a hard one. They're on a steep angle there, it's not ideal. You can see some of the Skinks' poison missiles going off there. And the archers are probably going to pick off all the rest of my Saurus with my feral cold ones who are summoned in there.
A mighty sun dragon has emerged from the fallen gate. Use missile or magical units to bring it down.
So I'm getting a bit sick because we do have some infantry coming in, but I haven't moved them yet. I'm a bit slow on the uptake that they've arrived into the battle.
Position to fire on the bridge. Take them out.
The Skinks are charging forward. The Bastildons with solar engines are charging forward. Now the range is not great with the Bastildon on solar engines, guys. You'll be able to see a bit more information on that, as I've mentioned previously in my unit comparison video, which also went up today. I'll talk through all the units in this battle, how they stack up against some of the units in the first game, and for the most part they seem pretty comparable. So my Skinks got a bit ahead of themselves, trying to pull them back. I didn't believe in their ability to go toe-to-toe with Elven archers. Now the Stegodon's in against the Eagle, and it's causing a lot of distraction up there, which is actually working in my favor a little bit. Now he's trying to take out the Sun Dragon with the Stegodon solar engines. But the dragon manages to scare my Stegodon. The Silver Helms come in, and my infantry is still just trudging away, trying to catch back up, and we have one of our feral units just coming back in as well. But that oh sorry, it's the Bastildon up there, not the Stegodon. The Bastildon's doing quite well. The Stegodon's the one that ran behind, and he's going to catch back up the battle now. Now you'll see the solar engine, that was a spell, I think, on behalf of the elves. Or an ability, maybe, of their general, actually, rather than a spell. And the solar engine's not doing too much damage to this Sunfire Dragon. Now that'll play an important part later on. Charging in a unit of not feral cold ones, but cold ones with spears there. The Elven cavalry is very much on the move. The White Lions are on the move in the back there with the axe symbol. So charging my cold ones into the White Lions, which may be a mistake, but we're going for it. Now we're happy to let Kroq-Gar involved. We've managed to scare away their Sunfire Dragon there. The before Krokgar was able to catch it. Now the skinks are being charged by these bloody elven cavalry. Cycle charging them, I believe they're going to come back into him. But we've got a couple of things rampaging. So the Stegodon's back. Is that Bastildon or the Stegodon? I think that might be the Bastillodon. Yeah, rampaging around there. Now the dragon's back. Still getting my engines to try and do it, but they just don't seem to be doing enough damage quickly enough. Stegodon's back in it. Now at this point, Krokgar's getting a little bit surrounded. That Sunfire Dragon charge just took a lot of damage off our guy. They're fighting each other there, toe to toe. Just to get body slammed by the Sunfire Dragon. I don't know if you saw that animation there. Skinks doing their little bit, firing at whatever comes near them. Now there's the Eagle Bolt Thrower using its 13 shot variation where it just changes out from 1 shot to 13. Doing a good amount of damage, firing into my units. And we still have this entire body of units on the top there, but we do still have a lot of our infantry as fresh. We're using the Stegodon to draw some fire, chase down those archers, or at least chase away those archers. And then this last unit is on the move now. Here they come. Now I made a bit of a mistake here when I summoned Feral Cold Ones. I tended to summon them in units like you would do with zombies. But with the Feral Cold Ones, you really want to summon them out away from the unit so they get the charge bonus as they come in. Now here's Krokgar going up against several units of Cav. And against their general there. And I'm still trying to use the solar engines like a Luminarch, like trying to nail down singular targets, but that's just not what it does. I was misusing it in my first attempt here. So it did some decent damage against those archers. And now my guys are just they're spread just all over the place at this stage. They're just everywhere. And that's not good. And they've got Krokgar surrounded with White Lions, with archers, all sorts of things fighting Krokgar there. Now he does have that regen, the cold-blooded bonus, which is Krokgar's regen you see there. But the cold-blooded bonus actually impedes your fighting ability, so you should really use it when you're not in combat. And here come the Pterodons. And there are the 2 elven mages whose our goal it is to take out in this battle. Set my Pterodons to fight against those archers. Skinks being mauled by some cavalry. I can't tell from here if they're Illyrian Reavers or Silverhelms. But Krokgar fell, unfortunately, there as he was ambushed by all those different units. Now I see one of these Pterodons have been just whittled down. They can't really go toe-to-toe missile exchanging with elven archers. So I'm trying to use the bombs on them now. Did a fair amount of damage there. Then just trying to pin down those 2. I haven't even touched those mages yet. And the the skinks there are in trouble with those cav chasing after them. They're setting off some magic. One of them I bestilled on solar engines actually run out of ammunition. Although how a sun runs out of ammunition, I do not know, but there we go. And that's one of the high elf spells there, the one that the Phoenix sort of streaking across the battlefield. It looks amazing. Now we've done not terribly here for what I've covered the spoils already, but what turned out to be a defeat. We do still have quite a bit on the battlefield, but they just have a little bit more. It's just whether this central column can hold out morale-wise. And there are archers all the time, whittling away, whittling away. And here come these elven wizards with their chariots. Now, mounts actually weren't confirmed for mages in Total War Warhammer 2 as of yet. But one has to imagine, well, we at least know they have the ability to put them in on mounts, the mages for the high elves. But they haven't officially been assigned them on the list. I don't know if that's a misprint or what's going on there. But yeah, perhaps by now that's been corrected. But at the time of this recording, I don't think they'd said they'd had mounts. But as we see wizards on chariots in this battle. They've got a lot of archers, they've got their generals still doing a lot of damage. They're breaking, but they're coming back. Just trying to use the cold ones as best as I can. That's still a lot of units in that, I think that's Temple Guard? Yeah, Temple Guard. Still 45 of them, and they're down that much of their health. Another spell going off from the High Elves. And these damn chariots are doing some work. Trying to get the Stegodon back there. Get these Pterodons firing down on them. Those guys were chasing down my skinks, that High Elf cavalry unit. And I think what really does it here is just the continuing archer fire into my guys. Again, the mage's trying to cast spells on those Pterodons. And my units start to break. Those chariots just grinding down what was left of my army. And that's everyone starting to break now. And again, my Pterodon sillily just sitting there. Finally get them into melee. They don't do that cool spin dive we saw in the trailer. That's a bit disappointing. They just had too much come back, and a lot of it is missile based, and just whittling us down, whittling us down, whittling us down. And eventually the morale just went with Kroq-Gar being dead, their general still being alive. Their general's on his last legs as well, though. Stegodon just going feral in the back there, having a great time. I think what happens here is we actually run out of time. Yeah, so it could have gone down to the wire there, actually. But I think what happened is we run out of time, and then it did a calculation on who lost or who suffered the most casualties. And I think that probably was us hit point wise rather than necessarily bodies wise. But that was my first attempt. I learned a lot. I needed to shut down those archers a lot quicker. You just needed to tackle that from the forefront. And so that was my thinking going into the next one, is wait for the army, attack as a singular unit, don't spread myself that thinly. And so let's see what happened there. Okay guys, so here we are on the second battle with Krogar, and he is moving in to the battle. And here we have our swords with spears just coming up in support of Krogar. The Stegodon, the Bastillodon next to him as well. As you see, they've done a slightly different formation this time. Now the Swordmasters are behind, so they're not leaving that vulnerable charging flank from last time. But you know what? I've seen what these units can do now, so I was more confident. This was, I think, my second attempt at it. Apologies for not getting in closer on the High Elf units, guys. I did do a cinematic take, but I either forgot to record it, or it got lost somewhere along the way with CA. But unfortunately I don't have that one to show you. But we've got Krogar charging in there. Great charge, straight through to the 2nd Regiment. The Saurus keeping the spears busy, which are the anti-large, letting Krogar deal with the Swordmasters, sending them flying there. Charging in, but all the while we're under attack from these archers, don't forget, and the bolt throwers in behind. And from time to time, you'll see shots from the bolt throwers coming in. And Stegodon, we forgot about him a little bit. We'll charge him into the flank.
Look to the jungle for missile or magical support.
Here come our first wave of reinforcements, the solar engines and the skinks. Krogar using his Rod of Storms there. And my Saurus just going rampaging around. Right through the gap, Stegodon, straight into the archers. Some feral cold ones being summoned. Can charge right into the rear. They immediately start rampaging though after one volley from the archers, which is a bit funny. And the Bastillodon, just look at him soaking up damage from 2 units of spears quite happily. Not too bothered about that at all. And there's the Eagle bolt throwers just raining down on my Saurus with spears here. They've come back. So I managed to chase all those guys away. And unlike last time, I'm not going to go charging straight up the hill. But I am doing a bit of regen on myself. On Krogar, that is.
The rest of your army has arrived. Combine your forces and advance on the fallen gates.
Here come my infantry and my cavalry reinforcements as well, and we're all just trying to regroup just out of range of the bolt thrower. I actually had quite a hard time seeing the range of the actual bolt thrower, but I think we found out where the range was eventually and just got behind them, out of range of it. Can't do anything about our rampaging units. They're just going to have to soak up the fire. But everything else has been pulled back. And compare that bolt thrower range to something like my Bastillodons. It's quite bad. Well, no, it's quite good. My Bastillodon range is quite limited compared to them. So just waiting for my infantry to catch up, sending the Bastillodons up, and I think this is much more of a viable tactic because even if they're attacked, they'll hold out for a long time and they'll just help you get a charge off against anything that's attacking them to begin with. And this time I'm more focused on getting them aiming at units rather than characters, because I've seen that they can't really do a lot against sort of individual characters. They're much better as a atypical artillery piece aiming at an actual unit rather than a singular character. So now I'm like, okay, what's dangerous up there? White Lions are probably the most dangerous thing they have up there. But the High Elves aren't going to take it sitting down, so they're sending their faster units down to try and take me out. And so I was like, okay, it didn't do a great job last time, but let's set the solar engines against that Sunfire Dragon. Here come the Temple Guard. They look great. I love the shields. I love the helmets. Fantastic looking unit. The feathers on the shields. Really done them justice, I think, the Temple Guard. Here come the Silver Helms, I think. Yeah, Silver Helms. Sending in the spears to back up one of the Bastillodons. And here comes the Sunfire Dragon. Now, this is when I discovered the true power of skinks. Just watch what they end up managing to do to this dragon as it sort of sits around and tries to breathe fire on them. That first volley wasn't that impressive, but they did miss quite a lot with that one. But poisoning him, he's not happy. Sending the infantry past him. Keeping Krokgar back there in case the dragon comes down on my skinks. Does a good bit of damage to Krokgar, but not a huge amount. And they are just whittling away. More so than in the last round where the solar engines had got nowhere near doing this much damage in the amount of time. There's a solar engine just helping out where it can. And we will rout this guy before he's finished his charge. And then Krokgar's still there to catch him a little bit, finish him off, fight him a bit. And he's running away. We're just getting everyone to fire at him as he runs away. Make sure he doesn't come back. Still not too worried about the hill. We do have all our troops, but I'm not going to tackle that hill till we're ready. Let's kill this Sunfire Dragon first, which I might end up doing off screen, unfortunately. But yeah, Saurus Warriors shields in against Silver Helms. They should do alright. Not the best way to kill them, but then we will get the Temple Guard in there, and they will demolish those Silver Helms. And now I think we've got all our infantry. We're probably good to start heading up the hill. Solar Engine just still firing into the White Lions, and just keep an eye on their health. The Solar Engines will start doing some good damage against the White Lions. Here comes another returning cav unit, but we're solid. We're all together. All my infantry, a good amount of units of Temple Guard with their anti-large bonus will make quick work of Silver Helms. And the Bastildons don't mind. You can hack away at them all day long. They're having a great time. And doing damage. And then, there we go, just shattered. Shattered the Silver Helms. The Sun Dragon you can see in the top left there, just being shattered, flying away. And this sneaky little cavalry unit tried to get in behind, but it was like, no thank you. Have some Temple Guard. Have 2 Temple Guard, why not? Sending the Cold Ones down the left-hand side, along with Krokgar himself. Solar Engine still firing into the White Lions, taking some hits. How many of them are getting back up? Not many. Sending Krokgar in, and the Stegodon just come in from the other side against the other Eagle Bolt Thrower. And another round. Boom. Rod of Storms down on the White Lions as well. Everyone in on the White Lions. They're the biggest threat in that little group of units. Another great shot from the Solar Engine there. Doing some good damage. Rear charge from Krokgar. And they're just getting thrown about. Krokgar's having a whale of a time. Trying to get one of the units of Cold Ones up the flank, the other one just to make sure that these archers die. Because they were the bane of our existence last time round, so let's take out these archers. And the infantry is still a little bit discombobulated, but they're pulling it together. They're moving up as a sort of one big blob, which isn't ideal. But the bolt thrower isn't a huge threat, and they're kind of out of artillery. It's just the archers now, and it's not ideal charging up against archers, but everything has shields in my army, so that mitigates that damage to a certain degree. White Lions seem to have come back a little bit, got a bit brave, but there's some Temple Guard there to back up, or Saurus Warriors there to back up Krokgar against them. Stegodon straight into some Silver Helms, and he will knock over some horses. Look at that, bosh. Here come the Temple Guard who are dealing with that one unit of cav that made us linger behind a little bit. There's Swordmasters there on the right that we should probably be watching out for. And here come the 2 wizards who are our target. And those Cold Ones will have a whale of a time with those 2 units of archers. Here come the Pterodons in from the right-hand side. Solar Engines. Now, I don't know why they're moving all... I don't know what their cavalry is going after at this stage. I assume my Solar Engines, so we tempted their cavalry down, but they're walking for some reason. And I'm not entirely sure as to why. So Saurus Warriors backing up what we have down there, fighting the White Lions. Now the cold ones will do better against the chariots than what I had last time, which were just like the remnants of my infantry. And this time not messing around with the pterodons, just charging them straight into some missiles, to some archers, just shutting them down, getting the melee functionality of the pterodons. They are, after all, just ginormous pterodactyls. Charging down on the archers, just shutting them down completely, and then we'll take to the air. We won't try and exchange missile fire with them. That was a silly choice last time round. Why, again, not sure where the swordmasters are going. But one of those chariots is almost fully done, the cold one still chasing them. But we still have 4 cavalry units down here and the swordmasters. Just not sure like what was going on with the AI here. If they were just trying to loop around the back of all our units. There's one chariot in a bit of trouble, but moving away. The other chariot's still pinned down by our cold ones up here, which is great. Our pterodons did look at how much extra health they have now compared to last time, having just gone into melee. And there's some coming back archers. Let's shut them down with both my units of pterodons. And Krokgar versus their general, just having a whale of a time, trying to eat him, chucking him around. You know, cold ones after those archers as well, not letting them do what they did last time, which was rout and then just continuously fire down on my units. And this cavalry is finally being engaged by our Stegodon, but they seem to be afraid of fighting. So I'm not sure what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to get in on that really weak Bastillodon with the solar engine on its back, but just because of the way we are set up, we had a lot of stuff in the way. Get him! Tail whip! But again, this is something I actually mentioned in my impressions, guys. That's like one of the animations where if you're running away from Krokgar, him turning his back to do a tail whip actually slows him down and you can get away from him a little bit. And so it can limit the amount of damage he can do. But it's okay. I think it looks good now. Sort of forgot about the skinks there on the left. After they took out that sun dragon, I was like, okay, we can leave that. Here comes a Stegodon. Boom. One charge. There goes the other mage. And that about does it for the battle. Everything else breaks after that. The spell going off in the background. Flame Vortex. And the Swordmaster's running away. Bastillodon doesn't like that general, but he's still alive. And there he goes, running away. And that's gonna really do it, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much for watching. All in all, really enjoyed the battle. Could have done with a bit more close-ups. I'm learning still. It was my first time invited to an event like this, but I'll know stuff I want to capture for next time if I do get invited back next time. But all in all, great battle, challenging in all the right ways. The AI went a bit funny there in my last one, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it for the victory. But Krokgar is a beast. He can do a lot of work. The Bastillodons can soak up so much damage. Don't be afraid to get them to soak up missile fire. They can take it. They don't mind. Stegodon's handy little unit would play a bit like the Vargulf, but as you guys will see in my comparison video, that changes a little bit in the game later on. But all in all, had a great time. For the unit comparisons, for my closer analysis of the unit themselves, do check out the comparison video which went live today. It'll be in the description below, or if you click the eye in the top right hand corner, you'll see a link to the video there. Otherwise, guys, as always, a huge thank you for watching. And a special thanks to my patrons, John, Reese, Colin, Mateus, Samuel, Matthews, David, and Peter. And again, guys, thank you all for watching. Do drop a like, do subscribe for more Total War Warhammer content, and I hope to catch you all on the next one.